You have likely been told that surviving hardship is the goal. You might believe that getting through something terrible means simply returning to who you were before. This is a widely accepted narrative, a comforting story we tell ourselves and each other. But what if I told you that this narrative is fundamentally incomplete and in many ways deeply misleading? What if the true potential of struggle lies not in merely enduring it, but in evolving beyond it? Consider this. The vast majority of people, when faced with significant adversity, focus solely on the act of survival. Their energy is entirely consumed by the immediate need to cope, to get through the next hour, the next day. This laser-like focus on immediate relief is understandable, even necessary at times. However, it often blinds individuals to a profound opportunity that lies dormant within the very heart of their suffering. Most people fail to recognize this opportunity because they are trapped in a scarcity mindset regarding their emotional and mental resources. They believe that trauma depletes them, leaving them weaker and more vulnerable than before. This belief system, while seemingly logical, creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you expect to be diminished by a difficult experience, you will actively, though perhaps unconsciously, seek out evidence that confirms this expectation. This is where the work of Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun at the University of North Carolina becomes so critically important. They didn't set out to prove that people could simply bounce back from trauma. Their research began with a question that many others had overlooked. What happens after people survive profound loss and suffering? They meticulously documented the experiences of individuals who had faced unimaginable challenges, from the sudden death of a loved one to life-threatening illnesses. What they discovered was not just resilience, but something far more transformative. They identified a phenomenon they termed post-traumatic growth. This is not about forgetting or minimizing the pain. It is about the unexpected ways people found themselves changed, often for the better, in the aftermath of their darkest hours. It's a paradox that defies simple logic, a testament to the incredible adaptive capacity of the human spirit. Imagine a study conducted with survivors of cancer. This is not a group of people who sought out hardship. They were thrust into it. Yet, between 30 and 70% of these individuals reported significant positive changes in their lives. They spoke of developing deeper, more meaningful relationships. They described a heightened appreciation for the simple beauty of everyday life, a gratitude that was absent before their illness. And perhaps most surprisingly, many discovered inner strengths they never knew they possessed. This is not a small, fringe group. These are substantial numbers indicating a widespread, yet often unrecognized human capacity. This growth doesn't negate the suffering, the scars remain. But alongside those scars, something new and powerful can emerge. It's like a tree that, after weathering a violent storm, grows stronger roots and reaches higher towards the sun. Think about Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the horrors of the Auschwitz concentration camp. He lost his wife, his children, his parents, everything that defined his life before the camp. In the face of such unimaginable brutality and loss, he observed something profound about his fellow prisoners. Those who maintained a sense of purpose, those who held on to a belief in a future, even a distant one, were more likely to survive. Frankl's experience in the camps wasn't just about enduring, it was about finding meaning within the suffering. He realized that even in the most extreme circumstances, when everything else is stripped away, we still have the freedom to choose our attitude. This freedom, he argued, is the last of human freedoms. It is the ability to decide how we will respond to our circumstances, regardless of how dire they may be. His seminal work, Man's Search for Meaning, is a testament to this principle. It's not a book about overcoming trauma by pretending it didn't happen. It's a profound exploration of how finding purpose, even in the abyss, can lead to a form of growth that transcends mere survival. Frankl didn't just survive Auschwitz. he emerged from it with a deeper understanding of the human condition and a powerful message for the world. So, how do we apply this to our own lives? The invitation is to shift our focus from what we lost during a difficult period to what we gained in terms of self-understanding and inner resourcefulness. It requires a conscious effort to look beyond the immediate pain and acknowledge the subtle, yet significant shifts that have occurred within us. Consider a time in your life when you faced a significant challenge. Don't dwell on the pain or the unfairness of it all. Instead, ask yourself a different set of questions. What did you learn about your own resilience during that time? What hidden strengths did you discover within yourself that you never knew existed? Did any of your relationships deepen because of shared vulnerability or mutual support? This process is not about minimizing the past. It is about reframing our understanding of the past's impact. It's about recognizing that even in the crucible of suffering, we can be forged into something stronger, something more capable. It's a powerful mental framework that can change how we view our entire life journey. The common trap, the one that ensnares so many, is the insidious nature of social comparison. We look at others who seem to have it easier, or who appear to be unaffected by life storms, and we feel inadequate. This constant, often unconscious, comparison erodes our self-worth without us even realizing it is happening. We see curated versions of other people's lives, polished and presented for public consumption. We compare our messy, imperfect reality to their highlight reels, and inevitably, we fall short in our own eyes. This creates a vicious cycle of self-doubt and unhappiness, making it even harder to recognize our own inherent strengths. The danger of social comparison is that it distracts us from our own internal landscape. It pulls our attention outward, away from the valuable lessons and transformations happening within us. We become so focused on what others appear to have that we fail to appreciate the profound growth we have already achieved. This comparison game is a silent thief of well-being. It convinces us that we are somehow lacking, that we are not enough, simply because our journey looks different from someone else's perceived perfection. It's a subtle form of self-sabotage that prevents us from embracing our own unique path of development. The science behind post-traumatic growth offers a powerful antidote to this pervasive issue. It suggests that our true measure of success is not found in avoiding hardship, but in how we evolve because of it. The individuals who report the most significant growth are often those who actively engage with their experiences, seeking meaning and understanding rather than simply trying to escape the pain. This engagement is not always easy. It requires a willingness to confront difficult emotions and to be honest with ourselves about our internal struggles. But the rewards are immense. It's about reclaiming our narrative, about understanding that our story is not defined by the adversities we face, but by the strength and wisdom we gain from them. Let's delve deeper into the mechanics of this growth. It's not a passive process. It requires active participation, a conscious effort to reevaluate our beliefs and perspectives. One of the key components identified by Tedeschi and Calhoun is a shift in our philosophy of life. We begin to see the world and our place in it with new eyes. This shift often involves a reprioritization of what truly matters. The trivial concerns that once consumed our attention often fade into the background. We develop a greater appreciation for connection, for love, for the simple act of being alive. This is not a superficial change. It is a fundamental reorientation of our values. Another crucial element is the development of new beliefs about oneself. We discover capabilities we never imagined. We learn that we are stronger, more resilient, and more resourceful than we ever gave ourselves credit for. This newfound self-efficacy is a powerful catalyst for future growth and well-being. The relationships we have also undergo a transformation. Often, adversity brings people together. Shared experiences of struggle can forge bonds that are deeper and more authentic than those built on superficial commonalities. We learn to rely on others, and in turn, they learn to rely on us. This mutual support system becomes a vital source of strength. The sense of personal strength derived from overcoming adversity is a profound realization. It's not about being fearless. It's about recognizing that we can face fear and act despite it. This is a fundamental shift in our internal dialogue, moving from a narrative of vulnerability to one of capability. The discovery of a new purpose in life is another hallmark of post-traumatic growth. When old goals and aspirations are shattered by trauma, individuals are often compelled to seek new directions. This search can lead to a more meaningful and fulfilling path, one that aligns more closely with their deepest values. Think of it like a sculptor working with a block of marble. The initial trauma is like the rough, unformed stone. It is imposing, perhaps even frightening. But the sculptor, through skill and vision, can reveal the beautiful form hidden within. The growth isn't in avoiding the stone. It's in the transformative process of shaping it. The scientific evidence supporting this concept is compelling. Studies consistently show that individuals who engage in a process of meaning-making after trauma are more likely to experience positive psychological outcomes. This meaning-making involves actively trying to understand the event, to integrate it into their life narrative, and to find lessons within the experience. This is where many people falter. They resist the process of meaning-making. They want to simply forget, to move on without engaging with the difficult emotions and questions that arise from trauma. This avoidance, while understandable, ultimately hinders growth. It leaves the experience as an unhealed wound, a source of ongoing pain rather than a catalyst for transformation. The mistake is not in feeling the pain. The mistake is in allowing the pain to be the sole narrative. It's in believing that the storm is the end of the story, rather than a chapter that ultimately leads to a stronger, more resilient self. We often fall into the trap of believing that healing means returning to our pre-trauma state, but post-traumatic growth suggests that healing can mean becoming something more. Consider the immediate aftermath of a significant loss. The world can feel chaotic and overwhelming. Our sense of safety and predictability is shattered. In this state, our primary focus is often on regaining a sense of control and order. This is a natural and necessary response. However, if we remain solely in this reactive mode, we miss the opportunity to consciously shape our future. We become passengers on a journey rather than active navigators. The key to post-traumatic growth is to transition from reaction to intentional creation. This transition involves a deliberate shift in our internal focus. Instead of constantly asking, "Why did this happen to me?" we begin to ask, "What can I learn from this? And how can I use this experience to become a better version of myself?" These are not easy questions, but they are the ones that unlock the door to growth. The application of this principle requires courage. It requires a willingness to be vulnerable, to confront our own limitations, and to embrace the unknown. It's about recognizing that our greatest potential often lies just beyond our comfort zone, in the very places where we have experienced the most pain. The mechanism behind this growth is multifaceted. It involves cognitive restructuring, where we challenge and change our negative thought patterns. It involves emotional processing, where we allow ourselves to feel and express our emotions in a healthy way. And it involves existential exploration, where we grapple with fundamental questions about life, death, and meaning. This journey of growth is not linear. There will be setbacks. There will be moments of doubt and despair. But the overall trajectory, when we actively engage with the process, is one of increasing strength and wisdom. It's a continuous unfolding, a constant becoming. The scientific understanding of post-traumatic growth offers a profound counter-narrative to the prevailing cultural belief that trauma only diminishes us. It reveals a hidden potential within adversity, a capacity for transformation that is inherent in the human spirit. This is not about finding silver linings in tragedy. It is about recognizing that tragedy can, paradoxically, be a catalyst for profound personal evolution. This is the twist, the unexpected truth that many people miss. They believe that the goal of overcoming trauma is simply to return to their former selves. But the research shows that in many cases, the goal is not to return, but to transcend. To emerge from the fire not as ashes, but as refined gold. The 3 specific mistakes you have probably made and likely continue to make are rooted in this misunderstanding. The first is the mistake of avoidance. You try to push the memories and feelings of the traumatic event away, hoping they will disappear. This only gives them more power. The second mistake is the belief that time alone heals all wounds. While time is a factor, it is not a passive cure. Healing requires active engagement. Simply waiting for time to pass without conscious effort often leads to prolonged suffering. The third mistake is the tendency to isolate yourself. You might believe that your pain is unique and that no one else can understand. This leads to a lack of support, which is crucial for navigating difficult times and fostering growth. Reaching out is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to your strength and your commitment to healing. So, what is the single, concrete action you can take today to begin this process of post-traumatic growth? It is simple, yet profoundly powerful. It is the act of asking a new question. Instead of asking, "What did I lose?" When you reflect on a difficult experience, ask yourself, "What did I learn about myself?" This one question, consistently applied, can begin to shift your entire mental framework. It redirects your focus from deficit to discovery. It opens the door to recognizing the hidden strengths and insights that have been forged within you, even in the fires of adversity. This is not about
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
Pretending the pain didn't exist. It is about acknowledging the pain and then deliberately choosing to look for the lessons it has imparted. It is about understanding that the most profound transformations often emerge from the most challenging circumstances. The journey of post-traumatic growth is an ongoing one. It is a testament to the human capacity for resilience, for adaptation, and for profound personal evolution. It's a reminder that even in our darkest hours, there is the potential for light, for wisdom, and for a future that is even more meaningful than the past. The impact of embracing this concept can be truly life-altering, transforming not just how you perceive your past, but how you build your future. This program explores how social comparison, often unnoticed, can erode your sense of well-being. We'll uncover the subtle ways this habit chips away at your happiness. It's a quiet thief of joy, operating in the background of your daily life. You might be scrolling through social media, seeing curated highlights of others' lives. Perhaps you're at a gathering, listening to success stories unfold. In these moments, a silent calculation begins in your mind. You measure your own life against these presented realities. This constant measuring creates an internal pressure. You begin to feel inadequate if your own experiences don't match up. It's like looking at a perfectly staged photograph and comparing it to your own unedited reality. The contrast can be disheartening, even if you know the photograph isn't entirely real. The impact of this comparison is insidious. It doesn't always manifest as dramatic unhappiness. Instead, it's a slow leak, draining your contentment. You might feel a vague sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling that something is missing or not quite right. This feeling can then influence your decisions. You might pursue goals that aren't truly yours, simply because they seem more impressive to others. You could be chasing a career path or a lifestyle that aligns with external benchmarks, not your internal desires. The trap of social comparison lies in its deceptive nature. It feels like a natural way to understand your place in the world. We are social beings, and we naturally look to others for cues. However, this instinct can be distorted by modern life. Consider Sarah. She was a talented graphic designer, passionate about her work. She loved the creative process and found deep satisfaction in bringing ideas to life. Her early career was filled with genuine excitement and a sense of purpose. Then, Sarah started noticing her peers on professional networking sites. She saw their promotions, their impressive project portfolios, and their seemingly effortless success. One friend in particular seemed to be on a fast track, constantly landing high-profile clients. Sarah's internal dialogue shifted. Instead of celebrating her own accomplishments, she began to focus on what she perceived as her shortcomings. She started to question if her own projects were significant enough. Was her career trajectory too slow? This unease began to affect her work. She found herself second-guessing her creative choices. She worried more about how her designs might be perceived by others than about her own artistic vision. The joy she once felt started to diminish. One afternoon, Sarah was offered a project that was a perfect fit for her skills and interests. It wasn't as flashy as some of the projects her peers were showcasing, but it offered a unique challenge and the chance to work with a cause she deeply believed in. Her immediate reaction was hesitation. She thought about her friend's recent success and wondered if this project would be seen as a step backward. The voice of social comparison whispered doubts in her ear. Was this truly a wise career move? This internal conflict lasted for days. Sarah found herself unable to sleep, replaying scenarios in her mind. She imagined the conversations with her peers, the potential judgment. The pressure to keep up, to appear successful by external standards, was immense. Finally, Sarah made a decision. She decided to accept the project, but with a heavy heart. She felt a sense of resignation, as if she were settling for less. The excitement she initially felt about the cause was overshadowed by her anxieties. The project itself was challenging and rewarding. Sarah poured her energy into it, but a part of her was always looking over her shoulder. She felt a constant need to justify her choice, to prove that she wasn't falling behind. The measurable result of this decision was a significant dip in her overall job satisfaction. While the project was technically successful, Sarah felt a profound sense of burnout. The creative spark that once defined her work had been dampened. She realized that by constantly measuring herself against others, she had lost touch with her own values and aspirations. The external validation she was seeking had become a cage, preventing her from pursuing what truly brought her fulfillment. This experience led Sarah to a crucial realization. Social comparison isn't just about looking at others. It's about what we tell ourselves about what we see. It's the narrative we construct in our minds that dictates the impact. The mechanism at play here is fascinating. When you engage in social comparison, your brain activates areas associated with threat detection and self-evaluation. It's like your internal alarm system goes off, signaling potential danger or inadequacy. Think of your brain as a finely tuned instrument, constantly seeking balance and harmony. When you compare yourself unfavorably to others, you create a dissonance, a jarring note in your internal symphony. This dissonance feels uncomfortable and prompts a desire to resolve it. The common response is to try and change your external circumstances to match the perceived ideal. You might work harder, buy more things, or strive for outward markers of success. This is like trying to fix a broken melody by changing the volume of the instruments. However, the true source of the dissonance isn't external. It's the internal narrative you've created. The metaphor I want to share with you today is this. Your brain is like a gardener tending a unique plot of land. This plot of land represents your inner world, your potential, your unique gifts. The gardener's job is to nurture this land, to plant seeds that will flourish, and to weed out anything that hinders growth. When you engage in social comparison, it's like you're constantly looking at your neighbor's garden. You see their prize-winning roses and their perfectly manicured hedges. You start to feel that your own garden is somehow inferior. You might then try to force your own plants to grow in unnatural ways to mimic your neighbors. You might neglect your own soil, focusing all your energy on what the other garden possesses. This frantic imitation is exhausting and ultimately unproductive. The unexpected twist is that by focusing on your neighbor's garden, you are neglecting the very thing that makes your own garden special. Your unique soil, your specific climate, your own natural beauty are overlooked. The paradox is that the more you try to be like someone else, the less likely you are to discover and cultivate your own unique strengths and beauty. You are essentially trying to grow roses in a desert or cacti in a rainforest. It's a recipe for frustration. The unanswered question from earlier was about the core of post-traumatic growth. It wasn't just about surviving. It was about a fundamental shift in perspective that allowed for profound growth. Social comparison is the enemy of this shift. It keeps you tethered to an external definition of success. It prevents you from looking inward and discovering the resilience and wisdom that lie dormant within you, forged by your own unique experiences. Imagine a sculptor who is given a block of marble. Their goal isn't to replicate another sculptor's masterpiece. Their goal is to reveal the form that is already within that specific block of marble. Social comparison is like the sculptor constantly looking at other sculptures, trying to make their own block of marble resemble them. They are missing the unique potential inherent in their own material. The true power of post-traumatic growth, and indeed of any personal evolution, comes from embracing your own unique journey. It comes from tending your own garden, even when it looks different from everyone else's. When Sarah finally understood this, she began to make a conscious effort to shift her focus. She started unfollowing accounts that triggered her comparisons. She dedicated time each day to reflect on her own accomplishments, no matter how small they seemed. She began to ask herself, what am I proud of today? What did I learn from this experience? What unique contribution am I making? These questions started to replant the seeds of her own fulfillment. This shift didn't happen overnight. There were days when the old habits of comparison would creep back in, but Sarah was more aware now. She recognized the dissonance and gently steered herself back to tending her own garden. The measurable result of this conscious effort was a gradual but significant increase in her job satisfaction. She rediscovered her creative passion. She found joy in the process again, not just in the outcome. She learned that true well-being isn't about having the most impressive garden. It's about cultivating a garden that is uniquely yours, one that brings you peace, joy, and a deep sense of purpose. This journey is ongoing. The temptation to compare will always be there. But by understanding the insidious nature of social comparison and by actively choosing to focus on your own growth, you can reclaim your sense of well-being. The next time you find yourself scrolling or listening to others' successes, pause for a moment. Remember Sarah's story, remember the gardener, and ask yourself, am I tending my own garden or am I just looking at my neighbors? This is where the true transformation begins. It's not about achieving external markers of success that mirror others. It's about cultivating an internal landscape of contentment and purpose. It's about discovering the unique beauty and strength that reside within you. The danger is that we become so engrossed in observing others' progress that we forget to nurture our own. We become spectators in our own lives, waiting for external validation that may never come. The profound impact of shifting your focus from comparison to cultivation is a deeper sense of self-acceptance. You start to appreciate your own journey with all its unique twists and turns. You recognize that your path is valid, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. This creates a powerful buffer against the negativity that social comparison often breeds. You become less susceptible to feelings of envy or inadequacy. Instead, you find a quiet confidence that stems from an inner sense of worth. Think about the science behind this. When you focus on gratitude and self-appreciation, your brain releases endorphins and oxytocin, hormones associated with happiness and connection. This is your internal reward system kicking in, reinforcing positive habits. Conversely, constant comparison triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. This can lead to anxiety, irritability, and a weakened immune system over time. The physical toll of social comparison is often underestimated. The metaphor of the gardener is meant to be a gentle reminder. It's not about perfection. It's about consistent, loving attention to your own inner growth. It's about understanding that your garden thrives on your unique care. The paradox of post-traumatic growth, and indeed of any significant personal development, is that the greatest strength often emerges from acknowledging vulnerability. By admitting you are comparing yourself, you take the first step toward breaking free. It's like admitting you're lost to find your way. The act of acknowledging the comparison disarms its power. It brings it into the light, where it can be examined and understood. This program aims to illuminate these often hidden aspects of our mental frameworks. We want you to leave with a deeper understanding of how these subtle habits impact your life. And we want to empower you to make conscious choices that lead to lasting well-being. The struggle with social comparison is a universal one. You are not alone in this experience, but the path to overcoming it lies within your own intention and your willingness to tend your own unique garden. The unresolved question that lingers is this: what if the most beautiful blooms in your garden are the ones that only you can see? What if the true measure of success is not in what others admire, but in the quiet contentment you cultivate within yourself? This is the frontier of personal growth. It's about turning your gaze inward with curiosity and kindness. It's about discovering the extraordinary potential that lies dormant, waiting for your attention. The impact of this realization is profound. It shifts the narrative from one of striving and competition to one of exploration and self-discovery. It's a journey of becoming, not of achieving something external. And so, as we continue our exploration, remember the power of your own inner landscape. Remember the unique beauty that resides within your own garden. The seeds of your greatest fulfillment are already there, waiting for you to nurture them. The journey ahead is one of cultivating that inner space. It's about understanding that your worth is not determined by external benchmarks. It's about recognizing the inherent value of your own unique growth and development. This is the essence of true resilience. It's not about bouncing back to who you were. It's about growing into someone even stronger and more vibrant, someone uniquely you. The work you do in tending your own garden will ripple outwards, impacting every area of your life. It will influence your relationships, your career, and your overall sense of purpose. The shift from comparison to cultivation is not a destination. It is a continuous practice. It is a mindful engagement with your own inner world. It is a commitment to nurturing the unique potential that makes you, you. The impact of this commitment is immeasurable. It leads to a life lived with greater authenticity, deeper joy, and a profound sense of inner peace. It is the ultimate reward for tending your own extraordinary garden. Let's dive deeper into how this internal shift can manifest in real life. Consider Sarah, a talented graphic designer who felt perpetually stuck. She'd scroll through social media, seeing designers with seemingly effortless success, their portfolios overflowing with vibrant projects and glowing client testimonials. Each post felt like a direct challenge, a silent accusation that her own work wasn't good enough. She found herself constantly tweaking her designs, trying to emulate the styles she admired, but it never felt authentic. Her creative spark began to dim, replaced by a gnawing anxiety that she was falling behind. Sarah's internal monologue was a relentless cycle of comparison. She'd see a designer land a big-name client and immediately think, "Why not me? What am I doing wrong?" This led to missed opportunities. She'd shy away from applying for certain jobs, convinced she wouldn't measure up. She'd even downplay her own achievements when friends asked about her work, comparing herself to others who seemed to be on a faster, more glamorous trajectory. The impact was a slow erosion of her confidence and a stifling of her unique artistic voice. She was so focused on what everyone else was doing that she lost sight of her own path. One evening, feeling particularly disheartened, Sarah stumbled upon an article discussing post-traumatic growth. It spoke of individuals finding new strength and purpose after profound adversity. While her situation wasn't a life-or-death crisis, she realized the concept of emerging stronger resonated. She started thinking about her own journey. She recalled a time when she had to pivot her entire career focus due to an industry shift. It had been incredibly difficult, but she had learned to adapt, to acquire new skills, and to find a niche she truly loved. This was a moment of growth, not a moment of comparison. This realization sparked a subtle but significant change. Sarah decided to conduct an experiment on herself. Instead of unfollowing inspiring designers, she decided to reframe her engagement. She began to see their success not as a personal indictment, but as a source of inspiration and learning. She asked herself, "What can I learn from their approach? What principles are they applying that I can adapt to my own unique style?" This was a conscious decision to shift her mental framework from one of competition to one of curiosity and collaboration, even if the collaboration was only with the work she admired. Her first concrete action was to create a learning board instead of a comparison board. She started pinning up not just finished projects she liked, but also the process behind them. She'd look at the color palettes, the typography choices, the layout structures, and try to understand the designer's intent. She began to see patterns and principles, not just finished products. This shift in focus allowed her to extract valuable insights without feeling inadequate. She was actively studying the craft, much like an apprentice studies a master. The measurable result of this shift was profound. Within a few months, Sarah found her design work becoming more innovative and authentic. She wasn't just mimicking, she was integrating. Her clients began to notice. They commented on the fresh perspective and the unique flair in her designs. One client, a small sustainable fashion brand, specifically mentioned how her designs captured the essence of their values better than any other proposal they had received. This was a direct outcome of her internal shift. She was no longer trying to be someone else. She was becoming a more refined version of herself. The tension in Sarah's story wasn't an external battle, but an internal one. The resolution wasn't a sudden victory, but a gradual unfolding of her own potential. By consciously choosing to reframe her social comparison, she unlocked a creative energy that had been dormant. She learned that looking at others' success could be a powerful catalyst for her own growth, provided she approached it with the right mindset. It was about extracting lessons, not feeling defeated. This internal, recalibrated perspective allowed her to see the value in her own journey and to trust her unique creative instincts. She started to understand that her own garden was producing its own beautiful and unique flowers. Now, let's explore the underlying mechanism at play here. Imagine your brain is like a sophisticated navigation system. When you're constantly bombarded with images of others' achievements, your internal compass gets a bit scrambled. It's like the GPS is receiving conflicting signals, constantly telling you you're off course. This is the neurological basis of social comparison. Your brain, designed to seek patterns and optimize for survival, interprets these external markers as indicators of success or failure. It activates areas associated with reward and threat, leading to feelings of envy or inadequacy. This constant bombardment creates a feedback loop. The more you compare, the more your brain flags these external achievements as the correct way to be, and the more you feel you are falling short. This can lead to a depletion of your brain's resources, particularly the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functions like planning, decision-making, and self-control. When this area is overloaded with the stress of comparison, your ability to focus on your own goals and to make healthy choices diminishes. It's like trying to drive through a dense fog with your windshield wipers stuck on high speed. Visibility is severely impaired. The metaphor I want to offer you today is this. Think of your mind as a personal observatory. You have a powerful telescope designed to observe the universe of possibilities. When you're caught in social comparison, it's as if you're constantly pointing your telescope at your neighbor's house, trying to see what they're doing, what they're cooking, who's visiting. You're so fixated on their world that you miss the breathtaking celestial events happening right above your own rooftop. Your neighbor's house might look perfectly lit, their garden meticulously manicured, their windows showing scenes of apparent joy. But you're only seeing a curated snapshot, a performance for an unseen audience. You're not seeing the arguments, the anxieties, the quiet moments of doubt that exist behind every closed door. Your own observatory, however, has a direct line to the vastness of your own potential. It can observe the unique constellations of your talents, the nebulae of your creativity, the distant galaxies of your future aspirations. But to truly benefit from your observatory, you must direct its lens inward. The unexpected twist, the paradox that changes everything, is this. The very act of trying to stop comparing often intensifies the comparison. You might say to yourself, I must not compare myself to anyone, and then immediately find yourself comparing yourself to people who seem to be effortlessly not comparing themselves. This is a trap, a self-defeating cycle. The solution isn't to force yourself into a state of non-comparison, which is an impossible goal. It's to fundamentally alter what you're observing. Remember the unanswered question from earlier. What if the most beautiful blooms in your garden are the ones that only you can see? What if the true measure of success is not in what others admire, but in the quiet contentment you cultivate within yourself? The twist is that by focusing on the process of growth, rather than the outcome of comparison, you naturally begin to see the beauty of your own garden. You start to appreciate the unique way your own flowers unfurl, the distinct scent they release, the resilience they show against the elements. This isn't about becoming complacent or ceasing to strive. It's about shifting the object of your striving. Instead of striving to be like someone else, you strive to be the best version of you. This is where post-traumatic growth offers a profound insight. When people experience trauma, they often report a heightened appreciation for life and a deeper understanding of their own strength. They didn't achieve this by comparing themselves to others who hadn't faced similar challenges. They found it by looking inward, by discovering what truly mattered to them, and by recognizing the reserves of resilience they possessed. So the paradox is that the path to genuine fulfillment and growth isn't found by looking outwards at others, but by looking inwards at yourself with a spirit of exploration and appreciation. When you direct your observatory towards your own inner universe, you discover wonders that no external validation can ever replicate. You find a deep well of strength and a unique perspective that is entirely your own. This is not a destination. It is a continuous act of discovery. It's about understanding that your own internal landscape is as vast and as wondrous as any external achievement you might witness. The real breakthrough happens when you realize that the best way to live is not a universal template, but a deeply personal creation. The success you see in others is their unique manifestation of their journey. Your success will be yours. It will be shaped by your experiences, your values, and your own particular brand of brilliance. The more you tend to your own observatory, the more you will see the incredible universe that exists within you. You will start to notice the subtle shifts, the quiet victories, the unique patterns of your own growth. These are the true indicators of a life well lived, a life cultivated with intention and care. The comparison trap is a distraction from this profound internal exploration. It pulls your attention away from the most important subject you will ever study, yourself. The real reward lies in understanding the intricate workings of your own inner observatory and in charting the unique and magnificent cosmos that unfolds there. This is the frontier of true personal development, the place where your own authentic brilliance begins to shine. It is the journey of becoming, not of mimicking. And the beauty of this journey is that it is entirely yours to discover. The silence of your own observatory is not emptiness. It is the space for your own unique music to play. It is the canvas for your own masterpiece to emerge. The more you focus on the quality of your own observations, the less you will be swayed by the fleeting glimpses into other people's lives. You will begin to trust your own readings, your own insights, your own unique understanding of the universe. This is the essence of self-mastery. It is the foundation of lasting well-being. The impact of this realization is not just a feeling of peace. It is a fundamental shift in how you navigate the world. You become the captain of your own ship, charting your own course through the vast ocean of life. The comparison game is a siren song that leads you astray. Your observatory is your compass, guiding you towards your own true north. The journey from comparison to cultivation is a commitment to that inner navigation. It is an ongoing practice of directing your attention towards the most valuable landscape you will ever explore. The ultimate reward is not external applause, but the quiet hum of your own inner satisfaction. It is the profound understanding that you are living a life that is authentically, beautifully, and undeniably yours. This is where the concept of post-traumatic growth becomes exceptionally powerful. It teaches us that adversity, while incredibly painful, can be a catalyst for profound internal change. It's not about pretending the hardship didn't happen, but about recognizing the unforeseen strengths and insights that can emerge from it. When we face challenges, we are forced to reevaluate our priorities, our beliefs, and our capabilities. This process, while often agonizing, can lead to a deeper appreciation for life, stronger relationships, and a clearer sense of purpose. It's the ultimate testament to human resilience, the ability not just to bounce back, but to grow beyond our previous limitations. Think about the individuals who have faced immense loss, like Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of Auschwitz. He observed that those who maintained a sense of purpose, a reason to live, were more likely to endure. His experience, documented in Man's Search for Meaning, is a powerful testament to the human spirit's capacity to find meaning even in the darkest of circumstances. He didn't compare his suffering to others. He sought to understand the fundamental drivers of survival and meaning. This inward focus, this search for purpose, is what allowed him to not only survive but to emerge with a profound message for humanity. The danger of social comparison is that it distracts us from this vital internal work. It keeps us looking outward for validation, for a definition of success that is often arbitrary and unsustainable. We become so consumed with what others have, what others are doing, and how others appear, that we neglect the cultivation of our own inner landscape. We forget that our unique strengths, our individual passions, and our personal definitions of fulfillment are the true sources of lasting happiness and well-being. The seeds of our greatest growth are already within us, waiting for our attention, our nurturing, and our belief. The shift from comparison to cultivation is not a passive one. It requires conscious effort and a deliberate redirection of our focus. It means actively choosing to invest our energy in understanding ourselves, in developing our skills, and in nurturing our relationships. It means celebrating our own small victories, learning from our own setbacks, and trusting our own inner compass. This is the essence of building a life of authenticity and purpose. It's about understanding that our worth is not measured by external benchmarks, but by the depth of our own internal growth and the unique contributions we make to the world. The impact of this shift is transformative. It leads to a life lived with greater joy, deeper connection, and a profound sense of inner peace. It's about recognizing that true success is not about outperforming others, but about becoming the best version of ourselves. It's about tending our own unique garden, allowing our own individual flowers to bloom in their own time and in their own magnificent way. The journey of self-discovery is the most rewarding journey we can ever undertake. It is a journey that leads us back to ourselves, to our own inherent worth, and to the boundless potential that resides within us. The comparison trap is a detour. The path to true fulfillment lies within. It's about understanding that the most profound achievements are often the quiet, internal ones. They are the moments of self-awareness, the acts of kindness, the persistent pursuit of our own authentic path. The true measure of success is the depth of our own inner garden, the richness of its soil, and the unique beauty of the blooms it produces. This is the essence of a life well lived. It is the ultimate triumph of the individual spirit. Now, let's return to Sarah and her observatory. She began to realize that her neighbor's perfectly manicured lawn wasn't the only definition of a beautiful garden. Her own garden, with its slightly wilder charm, its unique mix of flowers, and the way the sunlight hit it at a particular angle, had its own distinct beauty. She started spending more time tending to her own soil, understanding what kind of plants thrived in her climate, and appreciating the unique colors and textures that emerged. She realized that her neighbor's garden was beautiful, yes, but it was their beautiful garden. Hers was beautiful in a completely different and equally valid way. This understanding is crucial because it dismantles the very foundation of social comparison. We often assume there is one singular, universally correct way to be successful, to be happy, to be fulfilled. We see someone else achieving a certain milestone, and we immediately translate that into a personal failing if we haven't reached it ourselves. But what if that milestone, that outward display of success, is simply a reflection of their unique journey, their specific talents, and their particular set of circumstances? What if your journey requires a different path, a different pace, and a different set of markers? The brain's reward system, the one that gets triggered by social media likes and external validation, is a powerful force. It can create a craving for more, a constant need to measure up. But this system is also incredibly adaptable. By consciously redirecting your attention, by choosing to focus on your own observatory, you can retrain this system. You can begin to find reward in the process of your own growth, in the act of learning, and in the quiet satisfaction of creating something uniquely yours. This is where the concept of post-traumatic growth offers a profound perspective. It suggests that even after significant hardship, individuals can discover new strengths and a deeper appreciation for life. They don't achieve this by wishing they were in someone else's shoes. They achieve it by finding meaning and resilience within their own experience. The unexpected twist here is that the more you try to stop comparing, the more you are still engaging with the concept of comparison. It's like trying to not think about a pink elephant. The very act of trying to suppress the thought brings it to the forefront of your mind. The true solution isn't suppression, it's replacement. It's about filling your mental space with something more constructive, something more aligned with your own authentic path. This is where the metaphor of the observatory becomes so powerful. Instead of constantly peering into your neighbor's windows, you turn your telescope towards the vast, unexplored universe of your own inner potential. What if the most beautiful blooms in your garden are the ones that only you can see? This question, lingering from our earlier discussion, is answered by the profound realization that true fulfillment comes from within. The external world can offer fleeting moments of validation, but it cannot provide the deep, abiding sense of contentment that comes from cultivating your own inner landscape. Your unique talents, your personal values, and your individual journey are the soil in which your most beautiful blooms will grow. The comparison trap is a distraction from this essential truth. It pulls your gaze away from the most important and rewarding territory you will ever explore: yourself. The mechanism at play is that social comparison hijacks our natural inclination to learn and grow. We are wired to observe and adapt, but when this observation is skewed by envy or inadequacy, it becomes detrimental. Imagine your brain as a finely tuned instrument. When you constantly expose it to the noise of comparison, its ability to play its own unique melody is diminished. It starts to sound like everyone else's music, losing its original harmony and distinctiveness. By directing your focus to your own observatory, you are essentially tuning your instrument back to its original, perfect pitch. You are allowing it to play its own beautiful, authentic song. This is not about isolation or detachment from the world. It is about mindful engagement. It is about appreciating the achievements of others without letting them diminish your own sense of worth. It is about recognizing that every person's journey is unique, and that comparison is a false metric for personal success. The true measure of your progress lies in your own internal growth, your own evolving understanding of yourself, and your own unique contributions to the world. This is the frontier of personal development, the place where you discover the extraordinary potential that lies dormant within you, waiting for your focused attention and your genuine belief. The impact of this realization is profound, leading to a life lived with greater authenticity, deeper joy, and a more profound sense of inner peace. It is the ultimate reward for tending your own extraordinary garden, for charting your own unique course through the vast and wondrous universe of your own being. The journey ahead is one of continuous discovery, of nurturing your own inner landscape, and of allowing your own unique brilliance to shine forth. The comparison trap is a temporary detour. The path to lasting fulfillment lies within. The insidious nature of social comparison lies in its ability to masquerade as helpful feedback, a gentle nudge towards self-improvement. It whispers promises of a better you, a more successful you, a happier you, all by looking over your neighbor's fence. But this seemingly innocent act is a thief in the night, stealing your joy and your belief in your own unique path. It's a subtle erosion, a quiet dismantling of your inner strength, and it happens without you even realizing the full extent of the damage. You're so busy measuring yourself against others that you forget to measure your own growth, your own progress, your own unique achievements. This constant external validation seeking becomes an addiction, a never-ending race you can never win because the finish line keeps moving. There are 3 specific mistakes people consistently make when caught in the grip of social comparison, and acknowledging them is the first step toward breaking free. The first, and perhaps most damaging, mistake is the illusion of completeness. We see curated highlights of other people's lives and assume they have it all figured out. We witness their successes, their seemingly effortless grace, and we believe their journey is without struggle or doubt. This is a profound error because we are comparing our messy, behind-the-scenes reality with someone else's meticulously crafted public persona. We forget that everyone faces challenges, everyone experiences setbacks, and everyone has their own internal battles that remain unseen. This mistake is painful because it forces us to confront the fact that we've been comparing our unedited rough cut to someone else's blockbuster trailer, and then feeling inadequate because of it. The second common mistake is the misinterpretation of metrics. We often fixate on external markers of success, job titles, possessions, popularity, or perceived happiness. We see someone with a larger house, a fancier car, or more social media followers, and immediately deem them more successful or happier than ourselves. This is a flawed approach because these external indicators rarely tell the whole story of a person's life or their true well-being. True success is not measured by what you own or how many people admire you from afar. It is measured by your internal state, your sense of purpose, your meaningful connections, and your personal growth. We make this mistake by allowing the superficial to dictate our sense of worth, overlooking the deeper, more enduring aspects of a fulfilling life. The third critical mistake is the belief that comparison is a neutral act. We often tell ourselves that we're just keeping up or staying informed when we engage in social comparison. We don't see it as a destructive force, but rather as a necessary part of navigating the social landscape. This is a dangerous misconception. Comparison, especially when fueled by envy or a sense of inadequacy, is inherently biased and often emotionally charged. It's not an objective assessment. It's a subjective judgment that can easily lead to self-criticism and a diminished sense of self-worth. We fall into this trap because we are social creatures, and observing others is natural. However, when that observation turns into a constant internal scorecard against others, it becomes detrimental. We fail to recognize the emotional toll it takes, the subtle ways it chips away at our confidence and our joy. So, how do we dismantle this ingrained habit and reclaim our mental well-being? It requires a conscious and deliberate shift in our focus, a step-by-step process that reorients our perspective. The first concrete step is to cultivate radical self-awareness. This means actively observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, especially when you find yourself engaging in comparison. When you notice that familiar pang of envy or inadequacy arise, pause. Don't push it away, but acknowledge its presence. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What triggered this thought? This initial moment of recognition is crucial. It's like shining a flashlight into a dark corner, illuminating the pattern you've been unknowingly following. The second step is to consciously reframe your thoughts. Once you've identified a comparative thought, challenge its validity. Instead of thinking, "She has a much better job than I do," try reframing it to, "She has a different career path that seems to be working well for her. I wonder what aspects of her work bring her satisfaction." This reframing doesn't deny her success. It simply shifts the focus from a direct comparison of outcomes to an exploration of her journey and her motivations. It opens the door to learning rather than despair. You are actively choosing to see opportunities for insight instead of reasons for self-deprecation. The third step involves redirecting your energy towards your own goals and values. Once you've acknowledged and reframed a comparative thought, consciously shift your attention back to what truly matters to you. What are your personal aspirations? What are your core values? What steps can you take today to move closer to your own definition of success and fulfillment? This could involve setting a small, achievable goal related to your work, your hobbies, or your personal relationships. The act of actively pursuing your own objectives creates a powerful counter-narrative to the comparison trap. It reminds you that your journey is unique and that your progress is measured by your own internal compass. The fourth step is to practice gratitude for your own journey. Take time each day to appreciate what you have, the progress you've made, and the unique qualities you possess. This isn't about ignoring areas for improvement, but about acknowledging the abundance that already exists in your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you possess, fostering a sense of contentment and reducing the fertile ground for envy. It's a powerful antidote to the scarcity mindset that often accompanies social comparison. The fifth and final step in this process is to actively seek out inspiration, not imitation. Instead of looking at others and wishing you had what they have, look at them and ask, what can I learn from their journey? What qualities do they possess that I can cultivate in myself in my own unique way? This shifts the dynamic from a passive comparison to an active pursuit of personal growth. You are drawing inspiration from their achievements, but you are integrating those lessons into your own authentic framework, not trying to replicate their path. Let me share a couple of brief examples of how this method has yielded tangible results. Consider Sarah, a graphic designer who constantly felt inadequate comparing her client list to that of a more established designer in her city. She'd spend hours scrolling through social media, feeling a growing sense of frustration and self-doubt. By implementing the steps we discussed, Sarah first became aware of her comparative thoughts and the emotional distress they caused. She reframed her thinking, acknowledging that her colleague's success was a result of years of hard work and a different network. She then redirected her energy by focusing on building her own niche in environmental design, something she was passionate about. She set a goal to complete 3 pro bono projects for local environmental organizations, which not only built her portfolio in her desired area, but also deepened her sense of purpose. Within 6 months, she secured 2 paid projects with businesses that valued her specialized skills, and she reported a significant increase in her job satisfaction and a decrease in her feelings of inadequacy. Her income didn't immediately match her colleagues, but her well-being and her career trajectory were demonstrably improved. Then there's Mark, a writer who felt discouraged by the book deals and public recognition other authors in his genre were receiving. He'd often lament his own slower progress, convinced he wasn't talented enough. Mark started by practicing gratitude for the simple act of writing itself, the joy he found in crafting sentences and exploring ideas. He reframed his perspective, recognizing that each author's path is unique and that his own journey was about developing his craft and finding his authentic voice. He then focused on his own goals, committing to writing 1,000 words every day, regardless of external validation. He also sought inspiration from authors he admired, not to copy them, but to understand their writing process and their dedication. Over the course of a year, Mark not only significantly improved his writing skills, but also self-published a collection of short stories that garnered positive reviews from readers who appreciated his unique storytelling style. He didn't land a major publishing deal overnight, but he built a loyal readership and a renewed sense of confidence in his abilities. His internal validation grew, which in turn attracted external opportunities. These examples highlight that the results are not always about immediate external accolades, but about a profound internal shift that leads to a more fulfilling and authentic life. The measurable results are often in your own sense of peace, your increased productivity, and your deeper connections with yourself and others. Now, for the single action you can take today, not tomorrow. Right now, as you finish listening to this, I want you to do one thing. Take out a piece of paper or open a note on your phone and write down 3 things you are genuinely grateful for about yourself. They don't have to be grand achievements. They can be as simple as your sense of humor, your ability to listen, your resilience in the face of a small challenge, or even just your commitment to showing up for yourself by listening to this program. Write them down and then reread them. Let those words sink in. This is your starting point. This is the first brick in building your own observatory, your own sanctuary of self-appreciation. The journey away from social comparison is not a sprint. It is a marathon of mindful living. It is about understanding that your own inner landscape is the most fertile ground for happiness and fulfillment. It is about recognizing that your unique journey is not a competition, but a sacred expedition into the vast and beautiful territory of your own being. As you continue to navigate your days, remember the observatory. Turn your gaze inward, towards the stars of your own potential. Tend to your own garden with unwavering care and attention. For in the quiet cultivation of your own inner world, you will discover a richness and a beauty that no external comparison can ever diminish. Your true brilliance awaits your focused attention.